Namaste and welcome back to today's episode of Mahabharata Matters. In the previous episode, we saw that Krishna had run after Bhishma with a wheel in his hand. Arjuna had pacified him with great effort and promised that he will fight with more vigor. Duryodhana was sad to have started losing his brothers. Fifth day of the battle had commenced. The Kauravas were standing in a Makara Vyuha like a crocodile. In response, the Pandavas arranged themselves in a Krauncha Vyuha like a crane. Bhishma had started killing the soldiers of the Pandava army by the thousands. Today, Duryodhana approached Dronacharya. He told him, "These Pandavas are your students. Obviously, you know much more than them. It should be easy for you to defeat them and bring victory to me." Drona was very annoyed with Duryodhana. He told him straight to his face, "These Pandavas are invincible. They have Krishna on their side. You are not going to win this war. We are just doing our duty on your side of the army." Saying so, Dronacharya left the place. Bhishma was almost confronted by Shikhandi. Seeing this, Drona intervened and challenged Shikhandi so that he could deflect him from going to Bhishma. Bhishma was protecting the brothers of Duryodhana. He was killing the army of the Pandavas by the thousands. He had killed many horses, elephants, and broken chariots as well. Arjuna found himself face to face with Ashwathama. He was almost as skilled as Arjuna himself. He was Arjuna's Guru Putra, son of his teacher. He did not want to fight with him. After fighting for a little while, he went away to a different quarter of the battlefield. He had come face to face with Dronacharya and Bhishma as well. Today he had injured them both. Oh, how much he hated this war. He hated Duryodhana for having brought this war upon all of them. Abhimanyu was a terror. He had injured Lakshmana, Duryodhana's son. Satyaki, Arjuna's student, was also causing enough havoc in the Kaurava army. He was a befitting student to Arjuna and was killing many Kaurava soldiers. Everyone retired for the night and assembled back in the battlefield for the sixth day of war. The Pandavas had formed a Makara Vyuha, a crocodile formation today. The Kauravas in response arranged themselves in a Krauncha Vyuha like a crane. Bhishma and Drona were killing soldiers by tens of thousands, but they were not attacking the main warriors. Neither of them had the intention of killing the Pandavas. Each of the Pandava warriors was striking terror in the hearts of the Kaurava army. The brothers of Duryodhana were staying away from Bhima with effort. Dhrishtadyumna had cast a Pramohana Astra on all of them and sent them into a stupor. They had all fainted. Dronacharya had to come and revive them back to consciousness. Middle of the day, Pandavas reorganized themselves in a Suchi Mukha Vyuha, meaning the tip of a needle. They were piercing through the Kaurava army and shredding them into tatters. Everyone was exhausted. Sixth day of the battle had come to an end at sunset. Only the first day had looked good for Duryodhana. Oh, how hopeful he was that day that he is going to win the war in 1 or 2 days. But every day after the first could be easily called in the name of the Pandavas. Kaurava army had seen heavy losses. Duryodhana went to Bhishma yet again at night. He asked Bhishma to bring victory to him. But as always, Bhishma smiled and said, "We are doing our best. I will not kill any of the Pandavas, but I'll try to defeat them. Moreover, you do not understand that you cannot win this war with the Pandavas. Now go back to your camp and take some rest." Duryodhana returned to his camp, yet again very disappointed. So what are our takeaways from this story? Time and again, Bhishma and Drona told Duryodhana that he could not win this war. But Duryodhana was too proud to admit. There is a saying, no one has ever choked to death by swallowing his pride. Duryodhana was advised by his elders many times since his childhood. If only he could swallow his pride, such a huge massacre could have been averted. But alas, Duryodhana would not budge. A blind person cannot see. But a person intoxicated with pride does not see, meaning he chooses not to see and remain blind. Duryodhana was a perfect example for that. Pride is the trap for the pleasure of ego. Ego survives on pride. It is better if we recognize this sooner than later to prevent our own downfall. Many times we call this as Swabhimana and pride ourselves as if it is a great virtue. We may not even recognize when this becomes Durabhimana about ourselves. Instead, it is better to reevaluate and remind ourselves to be grounded every now and then. With these thoughts, we come to the end of today's episode. Remember, in this series, we are discussing matters of Mahabharata because even today, Mahabharata matters. Hari Om!